than 3 minutes for the international
Yes.
confidential.
Stop talking. Just sign it for me. Let's do it.
Hello?
Hello.
She will assist you in much better way, okay?
It's really pounding on when you signed there for me. It's a celebration. You ring home. So I think you ring me and piss me off. I'm gonna waste your time. £15 contract. Talk to me.
£15?
That's a bargain. I've been up and down, left and right. I've gone to Car Phone Warehouse. I've gone to Free Network. Nothing like your offer. Thank you, Gunnar. I'll take it. Bastards. Brixton Bully slab of a body. Welcome to today's vlog. A day in the life of a content creator, an online coach, a sponsored athlete. You get to choose. Whatever stamp you want to place upon my head, you have free reign. I'm also going to touch on some productivity tips. I am a little under the weather. I seem to have caught my once yearly big illness. The virologist is saying that because we socially distanced for such a long time over the last couple of years, that now we're mingling again, we're all getting ill. Which is another reason why socially distancing from a virus is such a stupid f***ing idea. Because why, as a human being, are we touching things with our elbows when we need to take on board those pathogens and viruses and illnesses to ensure that we have a strong, functioning immune system? Okay. My days in a life, they change quite frequently, but there's one thing that doesn't change, that's my ability to manage my time the night before. So basically I've got like two calendars, two ways of being more productive. We've got the big whiteboard. This is filled out every night for the next day. And we have my weekly planner, which, as I mentioned before, I got from Typo. It's a magnificent shop. The one in Bluewater is great. And all the things that I need to get done in the week, I put on there. And then I basically transfer that on a daily basis to my whiteboard. So take today, for example. It's Thursday, the 11th of November, 2021. What I do underneath the date is write the things that I need to get done. 2 client startups. I've got a business meeting at lunch at 1 o'clock. And start the podcast edit. Myself, Josh and Joe have created a podcast on a weekly basis whereby we go into this really nice setup, film it, it'll be on Spotify, YouTube, whatnot. So I need to get to work doing that. And then to the other side is that I write 6 a.m, I wake up, 7 a.m. on the computer. I like to give myself an hour. I think when you're planning your time, don't be that person who's like 6 a.m, wake up, 6:15 on the computer. People like to have a coffee or a drink or meditate. I do a little bit of reading, for example. Then I'm on the computer by 7 o'clock. 9 o'clock I've got training by, so when I see that I have to go like, probably trying to leave the house for about 8:30. So I've got a nice hour and a half to get on with at least one client. Come back, post-workout, I've already made my overnight oats, so it's just a case of getting them out the fridge. And then we jump on the train, business meeting, come back, couple hours work, dog walk and dinner. So that's one of my tips. My productivity / time management tips is meticulous planning. Secondly, this is more like to stop distractions. I've got a new upgrade. I always say when people say to me, what's the best camera? I've just started vlogging. If you can get an upgrade now to like an iPhone 13 Pro Max, then literally all you need. Maybe you get like external mic, for example, if you want to improve the audio. But now I have 2 phones, which is great. So I've got my personal phone. That's me in Paris. I didn't really like Paris, I'll be honest. I won't go back. And now I've got my business phone, so everything is on here for like business, clients, WhatsApp, for example, and that's great. Third productivity tip, try to leave the personal one away. So when I get up at 6, I don't really touch this or browse TikTok or Instagram until like 8:30 when I'm in the car back to get in, not driving, just before I get in, making my pre-workout, for example. Excuse me. I think that's all the productivity tips that I'll talk about in this scene. I'm gonna get on with some work now. This is unreal. This is my overnight oats, banana and Biscoff edition. So what I do, this is tip number 3 for productivity, and that is meal prep. Obviously, I mean, I love cooking. Doing that 3 or 4 times a day throughout the day, fresh meals, is quite time consuming. So if you have the ability to do so, and you can prep your meals, be it breakfast or lunches. I'm quite bad with lunches. So what I do is I just buy like frozen fish in the microwave, 7 minutes, salad, croutons, cherry tomatoes, perfect, in and out. Breakfast, I do my overnight oats, so 150 ml of almond milk, got 2 packs of the banana Quaker oats, 10 grams of Biscoff spread, blend, put some bananas in there, blueberries, and then when you get home after the gym, bit of dark chocolate, and then bang. Great productivity tip, Tom. Meal prep. Things like that drive my OCD wild. Great meeting, really good meeting. Came back, worked for a couple more hours, took Gun for a walk and showered, bathed. That's my sign, it's over. There's no more work, there's no more emails, there's no more, just a little bit, or no one's getting answered to on Instagram, apart from like Josh or Joe or any of the boys on WhatsApp, for example. But no, like we need to ensure downtime. We mustn't correlate downtime with, oh my God, I could be doing something here. Just enjoy it, man. Come on, get all wholesome. Must not get into habit of drinking alcohol every night. My downtime consists of making a lovely dinner and then watching something on Netflix. It's the last episode of You. She's got me going up and down. It's lost me my place in the queue I waited for, yeah. And this is a day in the life of a geezer. A nice little one, sun-dried pesto. Got some cherry tomatoes, a little parmesan, congile pasta, 200 grams of chicken, well seasoned, little green chilli. Eat this and watch the final episode of You, the final one. My friend just sent me a video of himself watching The Grinch, accompanied with what appears to be an extra large glass of highly sought after confectionery, which I thought was slightly too premature in terms of the appreciation that we both have with the festivities at this time of the year. But due to the last couple of Christmases that we've had, I'm fully ready to submerge myself with him in said festivities. Also, please tell me you've seen Francis Bourgeois absolutely having it. I think it might be Warehouse Project. You know, the train guy, a national treasure, our saviour. Flat cap, backstage. Looks like he's got a can of Boost in his hand. What a guy. Breakfast of Champions, that. Cappuccino and a cookie. Right, let's wrap up this video with some questions I asked you lovely lot on Instagram. If you're not following me, do hit me up, TM Cycles. God knows what's going on with social media at the moment. Stagnant. Maybe people just don't like me. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe I'm the problem. But do hit me up, TM Cycles, all one word. Please. Question number 1 from Painsy. How to find the fine line between maximum productivity and self-sabotage? A fantastic question, mate. And I think the best answer that I can give is for you to assess what it is that you envisage success to be. So by that, I mean, at what point can you sit back and go, you know what, I'm comfortable, I'm content. And I feel like you can almost reverse engineer from that. And let's just say your goal is to earn 30k in the year. Just pluck a number. You need to then go, right, is this amount of self-sabotage that's currently happening, in the sense that I'm turning down social events, friendships, relationships, is what I'm doing justifiable? That's the word that I was looking for, and I couldn't quite process it. Is what I'm doing justifiable? So I think the best answer that I can give, yes, it's a very fine line between maximum productivity and self-sabotage. It's also about understanding that every single one of us needs downtime. I think we're in this very ferocious society whereby if we're not waking up at 5 a.m. and having cold showers and meditating, that we're somehow failures, and we're not. Even though it sounds a little bit hypocritical, because next week I'm doing a video on waking up at 5 a.m. every day. But we'll save that we'll discuss that. But also understand that it's perfectly acceptable to have this downtime, to not impede on social events and friendships and relationships, especially if the end goal is something that's quite achievable. Hope you can sort of understand my mindset and thought process to that question. Harry Knight's Nutrition, how to balance a 9 to 5 with a side hustle as well as training. So this answer is almost gonna be targeted at the first question, whereby I said you need to assess what it is that you're doing in terms of what it is that you want to achieve, and you then have to base how tenacious you are in your approach to achieving that goal. So my answer to you, Harry, is that you use this word balance, but there's going to be, and I spoke about this on a podcast previously, there is going to be an element where you are going to be slightly unbalanced in order for you to achieve that goal, especially when we're taking into consideration side hustles. When you have a 9 to 5 and you're training, and at the same time you want to build your side hustle, unfortunately, there's no time to be lax, because you're going to find yourself in that particular groove if you do relax for far too long. So you've got to look at it and go, right, I've got to almost accept the next 6 months I'm going to have to work like a fucking dog, an absolute monster. I'm going to have to sacrifice friendship, but my reward is that my side hustle becomes my main hustle, and then it gives me more freedom and time. So to answer your question, mate, and we've done videos on time management and we'll do a lot more, you're just going to have to accept the fact it's going to be slightly unbalanced for a period of time until you get to that point. But like I said, I want to do a lot more video on time management productivity, but I just wanted to give you my take on that particular question so you can kind of process it a little bit better. AIV04, how to become productive to even start. Want to get into YouTube/social media game. The biggest barrier for everyone that wants to get into this particular industry is the constant comparison and fear that they must break onto the scene. Because we are surrounded by, like, look at this kit, this fucking microphone, this EOS R6, this expensive Mac, this microphone. 10 years ago, I had none of this. 10 years ago, I had a financed Mac book, financed secondhand, and an iPhone that rested on like my mum's fucking pack of nicotine gum. I didn't give in to that pressure of looking around and saying, oh my God, he's got such high production value and his cinematography is fantastic. The biggest, and it's so cliche, I know it's so cliche, but the biggest way for you to break into this scene, whatever it is to just begin. Is to start. Is to become creative and not to be fixated on total perfection. The perfection can come. The fonts, logos, design, the branding, the setups, the LUTs that we use, that can come. The first thing you need to do is just set your stall out, start vlogging, start creating content, do a little bit of research, ask yourself what it is that you want to create. You know, a good way is to kind of, whatever industry you're going in, look for gaps in the market and go, what is it that you're after? I think it's a really good one. When I come into the fitness industry, I was like, there's nothing on anabolic steroids. There's nothing about this. There's nothing about that. So you then start to kind of layer from there. But the best thing in terms of you becoming productive is just get the camera out, start experimenting, increase that frequency, because the increase in frequency when you start YouTube will then give you the ability to pull on analytics and go, that video did well. People didn't really like that video too much. And then what you can start to do is collate that information, and then you find that niche and you build upon it even more, because you understand your audience and you understand the kind of people that are watching your video. So I know it's cliche, mate, but just start. Just get on with it and go from there. That's my honest best advice that I can give to those people in that mindset. Will_O_Jones, do you ever get a sense of anxiety or nervousness when not working, having a week off and feeling it? Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I'd say a couple of years ago, and I'm an adult now, I can hold my hands up and say that particular mindset was the demise of my relationship, in the sense that I wouldn't be able to sit still. I couldn't switch off. I couldn't, of an evening, watch Netflix for an hour, because in my mind it was like, I could be upstairs right now, I could be doing an edit, I could be making money. It's so unhealthy, mate. It's so unhealthy. It's so unnatural as well. Like I said at the beginning of this Q&A, there needs to be that level of appreciation to downtime. We have to do it, because ultimately you just burn out or break relationships or fuck up friendships. And so almost use me, mate. Like, I'm not fucking perfect, but just like use the fact that I, among with every other social media influencer, not that I'm saying I'm a social media influencer, but like loads of people that are in this particular field say that you have to have that downtime. Because if you do find yourself in this position whereby it's just work, I feel like you become unproductive, because you're just, you know, like, it's like you're here, but you're not. There's times that it was weird up mindset, because there's times whereby, all right, I go, let me go and do some work then. Let me not watch Netflix, and I'll come upstairs. But I'll come upstairs and I'll just procrastinate. So I won't actually even get any work done. So I'm sacrificing downtime for, well, nothingness. So I completely understand, mate. This world that we're in, I think, as I mentioned, we almost feel like we have to feel bad if we're not doing, and it's perfectly fine to not do. So don't feel anxious. Set your plan out for that particular day. Work around when you are most productive, and just enjoy that downtime, mate. And just understand that, look, you've had a week off. Fantastic. I hope you had a good week off. And it's nice to have those breaks. I did it. I do it quite occasionally. Just come off social media for 7 days. And that allows me to just completely detach and have some free time, have some downtime, work a little bit on particular projects that I'm doing. But yeah, don't feel bad for not doing anything. I used to. It takes me like 3 or 4 days when I go on holiday to actually feel like I'm on holiday. I don't get that anymore, because I kind of plan these breaks, and I go, you know what, I'm going to take a back seat in this particular time and just enjoy it. So completely understand you, mate, but also understand that it's perfectly acceptable to have some downtime. Coach Garlic, do you journal? Would you recommend? And if so, what's your process? I absolutely do journal, mate. Instead of me answering this question, I've done a video on journaling, but I feel like it's a fantastic, this year for me in particular. And I've said it on the podcast, and I'll say it now. I'm very open. I've been getting some counselling, some therapy, not because I feel like I'm necessarily suffering from any kind of severe psychological disorders or anything like that. I just thought, right, now I'm in this kind of self-reflective period of my life. I've done the journaling. I do journal every day. I think it's a fantastic, phenomenal tool for people to use if they are struggling. But let me just kind of reach out and get a little bit of support. So for me, like, journaling up there, therapy, just like fortnightly sessions, your ability to kind of, it almost coincides with your ability to get out all of your emotions on a pad. I feel like the next step up from journaling is almost to have some form of one-to-one therapy, counselling, because the combination of the both have been fantastic. So I do journal, mate. If you want a little bit more information, do click the video above, because I did a whole Ask TMC episode on it. Evolve Mindset _HC. Just left the corporate role to set up my own business. Any tips on structuring your day? This is like the biggest misconception for those that leave their 9-to-5 job for this self-employed role, is that we're going to have all the free time in the world. I certainly did feel like that, and it's far from it. I think to answer your question as best as possible, mate, undoubtedly there'll be some form or quite a lot of structure and regime within your corporate world. So it would be simply a case of mirroring that structure into your self-employed world. I don't think you should see this sort of disconnect whereby, like, I've left my 9-to-5, now I'm free. You know, it's going to be totally different. Just kind of plan almost as if you would in your corporate world into this self-employed type world that you're now into is the best advice I can give. Daniel.Yadush-Livy. I said that right. I hope so. Do you seek inspiration when starting a new project, or do you wait until it comes to you? That's a very good question, mate. Fantastic question. So with me, what happens in my mind is that I'll have an idea, and then I'll get it down on my pad, and then sort of subconsciously I'm taking in what that particular role of the project or business idea that I'm thinking of, I'm subconsciously taking that on board through other people, just kind of letting it sit. And then once I'm ready to kind of pursue it, I'll then openly look at similar models and then take inspiration from them, if you can sort of see the way in which my mind works when it comes down to that particular question. OJ Lifting 101, aside from Utopia, what nootropics would you suggest? It's hard to beat Utopia. It was the daddy. I think Beneskro has come into collaboration with Omar. I'm not 100% sure, and I do believe that they may be releasing a similar product. But if you enjoy Utopia a lot, it may just be the simple case of like breaking down the ingredients within Utopia and making it yourself. Our sister company with Insight, Foresight, do Refocus. It's really good as well. Ghost Gaming was quite good. I think if you're an individual watching and you don't necessarily want to buy any supplements in terms of like pre-packaged stuff, then simple things of like 5-HTP and a black coffee are really good. You know, especially if you're dieting as well, that kind of combination of the two can help with appetite suppression. So 5-hydroxytryptophan you can get from Holland & Barrett. We sell it. 200 milligrams is usually the sweet spot, accompanied with like a black coffee. So anywhere between like 80 to 120 milligrams of coffee, I think is a really nice little kind of nootropic stack. For those that want to go into slightly more advanced, this is what Beneskro introduced me to, which was nicotine gum. So this little stack of nicotine gum, black coffee and 5-HTP was phenomenal. It was like almost up there with Utopia. But yeah, I'd say Foresight's Refocus is good. Ghost Gaming's good. There's a couple of nootropics that I've used that are in the back of my head, but I can't remember. If anyone's got a question on them, do ask, and I'll comment in the comment section below. Mitch J. Davenport, I feel like when I'm not particularly busy, I lose motivation to do the basics. I can completely agree with that statement, mate. There's been patches this year whereby I've pulled back on purpose throughout prep. I remember saying to myself, I'm going to take some time off. That downtime then was slightly elongated due to my own kind of motivation to want to do stuff, but I think when you're in this mindset, I think education's the best thing you can do, in the sense that if truly there is no work on and you are in a bit of a low patch, because that's, you know, what tends to happen with a lot of businesses, it's not on it 365. Sometimes there are these little dips. Either work on future projects. So at the moment, for example, now I'm not in a little bit of a low patch, but I'm dipped a little bit. I'm getting some work done for the Ibiza Classic next year that opens in April. So you can kind of shift your focus to future projects. If you literally have nothing on, then education. There is always time to educate yourself. So sign up to courses on Udemy or YouTube academies or anything like that within your particular field, and just throw yourself into education. I think that's a good one. Final question from JM_fit. Do you still use modafinil? I don't, but I really want to do another modafinil video, because I feel like I not pussied out on the dose last time, but I think I underdosed. I'm not too sure. I think I only took like 50 meg, and you can push the higher. Like, I don't really care. I wouldn't mind experimenting again. So if we can push like the upper threshold for modafinil and do another video on that, because it was that stuff was crazy. If I can link the video to the previous one that I did, that it will be up here. But that day in particular was like, it was like that limitless pill. It was I remember waking up, taking it, empty stomach. I don't know if I had caffeine or not, but I do want to try it again. But no, I don't use it. It's not something I recommend, you know, just purely because of the potential side effects from it. But it is one of those compounds whereby, like, if you need a 12-hour day to start up clients, then wow, it's like, whew, it's crazy. So maybe I'll take it soon, and then take it again next year when I sign up potential clients to the Ibiza Classic, which I'm really looking forward to. Anyway, that is the Q&A done. I hope you can take some value from this video, and just to give you a little insight into what's going on with my life at the moment. I'm sure we'll do another one very soon. I promised Instagram, and I'm going to promise you guys, so it keeps me accountable, I'm doing Vlogmas this year. I'm doing daily uploads in December, because I've always wanted to do it, and the last 2 Christmases have been dampened because of the Rona. So we're going to do it. Fingers crossed there's no lockdown this Christmas. I don't think there will be, but I have no idea what goes on in government nowadays. So let's keep everything crossed that there's no lockdown. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like. Any questions, do drop them below, and subscribe for more content. Love you all. I'll see you very soon. Thank you, good night. Much love.